Overboard humor. Haven't talked about him in quite a while, mostly because he was just doing the same thing, so it just seemed like it was kind of pointless. But I was watching his live streams yesterday and the day before, and I'm partly sitting there looking at that whole thing, like how does a person who has something like a million something subscribers fall so far from grace? Up until the point where this guy is literally sitting there dumpster diving, like just in the trash looking for stuff, and I'm like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Now, before this, I guess he was attempting to sit there and like do like a prank or whatever, when he was just being like an asshole to like one of the McDonald workers. He put on his chat. He was like, $5, and I'll sit there and see your comment and stuff like that. I'm like, bro. I mean, this is what it's come down to now. He's literally got people paying him to do pranks. Now, earlier in that stream, somebody was sitting there saying, like, maybe you, because people was like, do you do pranks and stuff like that still? He was like, yeah, I do, but, I do other things too. And I'm like, here's the thing, it wouldn't be bad if he did other things, but mind you, the day before, he made a live stream and it was like $70 for something. He didn't exactly say what it was, but he put in the pin comment that he wanted to get shrooms. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You made a live stream when you're e-begging money for drugs. Are you kidding me? And the whole time, the guy's just literally sitting there on his phone, just like barely interacting with people. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, here's the thing. I get that sometimes he want to do something different other than pranks, and it's kind of unfortunate because that's what he's known for doing. That's just what he's amassed such a big following for. But I get it. Sometimes you want to sit there and do other things. You want to branch out or whatever, and that's fine. But yesterday, this dude was literally sitting there dumpster diving. I'm like, what are you doing? Um, granted, when somebody was like, you need to, maybe you should take the channel in different directions, like he just didn't want to hear it. Um, and it's just kind of a shame. It's just kind of a shame. I've watched a couple of the rise and fall videos of him, and as far as like the apocalypse and everything like that, and just like his downward spiral. But, and here's the thing: a lot of people, especially when they do these videos about overboard humor, they tend not to really sit there and talk about his family, aka his daughter. And I get that because I'm very hesitant about that type of talking about that type of thing because I feel like in a lot of ways it's kind of crossing the line. But when I was sitting there watching him dumpster dive yesterday, I just kept sitting there thinking like, bro, what are you doing to better your situation? I mean, either he's homeless or he's living in a group home or something like that, or he's living in a tent. I have no idea what he's doing. But the reason why I sit there and bring up the daughter thing is that when you become a parent, it's not about you anymore. It's not about so much about making your life better, doing all this stuff for you. It's about making their lives better. But you can't help them. You can't make her life better if your life is still where it's at. And I'm sitting there thinking, so this is what you do every day when you wake up this morning. Like when you wake up in the morning, you're just like, oh well, let me do a video when I'm like begging money for drugs and dumpster diving and stuff like that. Like at some point, and I hate to sit there and say this, and in a lot of ways it kind of breaks my heart, but at some point, she's gonna get old enough to go on the internet, and this is the type of stuff that she's gonna be seeing, and it's like for every missed birthday, for every missed tooth, for every bad day that she had from school or whatever. Where was he at? What was he doing? And then you look at his videos and you see him getting arrested by the police, or having the police called on him at laundromats, you know, half of these streams or whatever, he looked like he just zoned out because he's high off of shrooms or something like that. And it's one of those things where it's like, bro, this stuff lasts forever, you know? Even if he deletes his streams or whatever, there's always going to be somebody that's going to sit there and save it. You guys sit there and wonder, what are you putting out there in the world? Like, okay, cool, I get it. You may not care about total strangers' opinions, but what about hers? You know? And again, like I said, I don't like to sit there and bring that in there because it's a touchy subject. You know, it's a touchy subject, and I don't like to usually bring that stuff in there. But I couldn't help when I was in there looking at that stream yesterday. Him like, looking through the trash or whatever to find all this different stuff, and people like, oh man, you could just sit there and just do this for your content. I'm like, bro, your content is going to be consistent of dumpster diving. Really? I get YouTube and the fact that they like to demonetize a lot of different things, especially prank channels. Um, and I feel like in a lot of ways, YouTube looks at prank channels the same way they look at predator channels, as far like predator catching channels, as far as harassment. So I get that, but I feel like he does have a loyal fan base, and even if he just did like you know vlogs or whatever, he wouldn't be getting the numbers that he normally does. But it'd be a lot better than, oh, I need $70 to get money for drugs or whatever, or I need $70 or whatever to sit there and pay rent. It's like, bro, why don't you just, and I know it sounds stupid to sit there and say, why don't you just get a job? But he doesn't seem like he's trying to really do anything to lift himself from the situation that he's in. And truth be told, if he was single and didn't have children or anything like that, then you could just sit there and look at this like, well, another YouTuber that sat there and banked on, having a career as a YouTuber and, didn't have any backup plans or fallbacks or anything like that, and this is where he's at. And it's just a typical thing. But when you know that he actually has a child, it makes it more tragic because it's like he's not doing anything to get himself out that situation. So it sucks all around. And I'm gonna be honest, when I actually made this video, this was not the direction that I want to sit there and take it in, but I couldn't sit there and ignore something that everyone either talks about or thinks about, um, including me. When I see stuff like him dumpster diving, it's like, bro, how did you fall so far from grace that this is what you're doing and not talk about that? Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. Every once in a blue moon, I guess I'll sit there and do some overboard videos or whatever, but I don't want to sit there and make it seem like I'm being like super obsessive. And also, let's be honest, he hasn't really been doing a lot, so there's that too. Um, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching, be safe, and I will see you in the next video.